Well, it's that time of the year we start thinking about planting potatoes, and I love potato time. Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. Hey, I'm Greg.
I'm Sheila.
Thank you for joining us. We are the Row by Row Garden Show. We come on every Thursday night on YouTube and Facebook, and we're all about gardening, all about growing your own food. Here in South Georgia, but also everywhere. We're located in Zone 8, and we have a garden supply e-commerce store where we sell garden tools, garden supplies, and garden seed. And it is our goal to help you be successful at growing your own food. And folks, here we are, middle of February. Middle of January. See, I'm already confused.
You already planted potatoes.
Confused. Tater time. I'm excited about planting potatoes. I get this way every year when we start thinking about. I'm getting all geared up for the springtime. My onions are looking good, and I want to thank taters. And I've already got my tater spot, started working it up. I'm getting ready.
I've got my container, my root pouch ready.
Yep. Next thing you know is potato plant time here in Georgia. And that's what we're talking today. We're talking about all things Irish potatoes. Stick around to the end of the show. We're going to give you some good tidbits of information for growing potatoes in containers. Is something that you do.
Yeah, I did it spring and fall.
Little tidbit right here. You see that right there? See this right here? I'm going to put it where everybody can see it. This is a keychain, a new keychain. There we go. A new keychain that we got for this year. I'm not going to tell you what month, but 1 month this year, these will be in every order. So you can get your Get Dirty keychain. I've been wearing mine for a while. Got on my keychain. So, and it's kind of a soft deal, so it don't rub your roll down there in your pockets. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know.
So anyhow, it's kind of flexible. Get Dirty keychain there. 1 month this year will beat boom in every order.
Ba-boom.
Ba-boom. All right. So what is going on in your garden, Mama Hoss?
Not a whole lot. I'm picking the last of my broccoli, cauliflower.
Yep.
The onions are going strong. Carrots, I'm slowly pulling those, eating those. We had some for, or I did for dinner at the night.
Roasted carrots and beets.
Yeah.
We had somebody on the show put in the comments, on the show about roasting beets with your carrots, and it was good.
We did.
Yep. I'm getting everything ready. My onions is doing good, so I've been working there a little bit. This is the slow time of the year for my garden. It's where I start really doing some intense planting. Okay, I've got this plot here I'm going to plant potatoes on. I got this plot that I'm going to plant early corn on. And I got these other plots that I'm going to use later on. So I'm trying to plan out when to work.
Tomatoes going?
I don't know yet. That's one of my later planting things. I'm getting potatoes down first. My potatoes and corn, I'm narrowing that spot down first.
I thought potatoes was going where tomatoes.
No, potatoes, Irish potatoes and tomatoes are in the same family.
Oh.
Nightshade family, so you don't want to plant them in the same spot. So I got to work that rotation. Now I got to get back out there and look and see what I planted, where, and get my crop rotation plot.
But you had corn between the tomatoes. You still wouldn't do it?
You could if you're in a tight. I did a video on that here a while back. So if you're in a real tight rotation, you can do that. You can double crop. Well, you can double up on and do a fall crop, something like corn, and then go back with a nightshade. Only if you're in a bad situation where you can't rotate like you should. It's the best you can do sometimes. So we're talking about potatoes, but first we're going to talk about a little
fermenting. So we talked about it a little bit last week. So I've been asked to participate in the Fermentation February that Anna from the Fermented Homestead is doing. So let me put my glasses on here. So there's 22 creators that's going to do videos in the month of February. And she'll be doing giveaways every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. And then there'll be one big giveaway at the end. Big away. Let's see, there's going to be fermentation kits, books, gift cards, tools, all kind of cool prizes. And to win, you have to, of course, watch the video, like the video, and make a comment. So she'll randomly pick winners from those that make comments. And I talked about last week, I was going to do carrots, but I've changed my mind. This is some of the stuff that I have fermented this year. And this is beginners fermenting as well as experts or novice. I would definitely say I'm still a beginner.
You did pretty good on your pickles. Now, you've come a long way on your pickles because, let's be honest, you used to struggle with pickles.
I did, especially dill pickles.
Dill pickles. But you've come along, yeah, these are a lot better. In the last couple of years, you have done really well.
Well, now those I did in the big crock. What do you call that big crock?
Yep, the big crock.
Ceramic crock?
Yep.
There's a name for them, I think. I did them, they were whole, and then I slice them up and I keep them in this jar as we eat them. So.
And this right here.
That is something new. That's some kohlrabi sauerkraut. You had some of that last night.
I did. I put it on my hamburger last night. It's a little different than cabbage is.
Right, because I did put some seasonings, and I did a video on that.
Now this is one of my favorites right here.
Yeah, that's the fermented peppers.
This is a great salad dressing right here.
You don't put too much of it.
Don't put too much.
Now this, let's talk about this. So I took, it was another batch of this fermented peppers. I took it and put it in my freeze dryer instead of, so it would last longer. Now we had that in our hamburgers last night.
That was good.
And that's the kohlrabi.
But it's in slices. I'm not eating any of that.
No, because I just put the regular lid. I actually let it ferment for about 5 weeks. This is some apple cider vinegar I've started making. And now this takes a little bit longer because you have to let it sit in here for 4 weeks and then you strain it and then you let it sit 3 to 4 months. But anytime I have pieces of apples, don't ever throw them away. Now that was that, how do you say it? The little round green things?
Tamales.
Tamales that I fermented back in the summer, but it's still good.
And last but not least,
is the roselle. And I think I've been doing a video with the different steps of making the roselle wine, and it is a ferment. You have to ferment it. So I think this is what I'm going to do on the February 14th fermenting show. So put that on your calendar.
you know, it's all good, but I will say this, ferment's kind of an acquired taste.
It is an acquired taste, and some people don't like that sour taste. I have really grown accustomed to it.
Yeah,
really
we
like
did on
it.
our hamburgers, hot dogs, all kind of stuff.
And it's so good for you.
Yep. Helps keep your enzymes or your bacteria in your gut nice.
Probiotic.
Probiotics. I'm getting a little ahead of myself there, wasn't I?
Yeah.
With my gut stuff. All right, so we're talking about taters. A little, what do you call it here? A little potato. What do you call it when you give us somebody some information they didn't know? Not
I don't follow you.
potato. I had a brain cramp there. Potato. Forgot the word here. We're gonna tell you something about potatoes you probably didn't know. Okay.
It'll come to you.
It'll come to me. Did you know where the majority of potatoes are grown?
China.
China. There's a lot of them grown in Russia, Ukraine. And we grow a lot here in Idaho. When we think about United States potato production, we think about Idaho and out west, because that's the majority of where all the potato chip potatoes grown, and the other potatoes, Minnesota, some and not a lot, some of the Dakotas, Maine grows a lot of potatoes up in there. So there's northern regions we think about. Did you know they grew some potatoes in Florida?
No.
You did know that?
Well, I mean, we have customers.
No, I'm talking about farms. I'm talking about commercial
No, I didn't
production.
know
Yep,
that.
they do grow some in Florida. I can remember back when I was about 18 to 20 years old, I loaded a load of red potatoes into Immokalee, Florida. Below Immokalee, Florida, we loaded a whole
How
load.
old were you?
I was 18 to 20 years old. Yeah, it was way back in the day. But we bought a bunch of potatoes down there, and they grew them down there in that sand, or that, it looked like sand to me, but just acres and acres of potatoes, and then they bagged them up. So there's a decent amount of potatoes grown in Florida. A lot of them grown around, I think it's Haines City, maybe Haines City, but in that area there. But in case you didn't know, there is a decent amount. Now, by no means is it the majority of potatoes, but there are some areas of Florida that grow fresh potatoes for the market. But we think about it up north. However, potatoes are the staple of our diet. Would you say so?
Yeah. I would love for them to be, but I have to stay away from those carbs.
I know, I do too. But if you think about every meal that you eat, most of the time you've got some type of potato in that meal. Did you know around the 1850s, somewhere there was the iced potato famine? You didn't know that?
I didn't.
Yeah, and it was
You're just full of information.
I'm full of information today. And it was in trivia. That's what I was trying to think of. We'll go trivia. Potato trivia.
Potato trivia.
That was so around 1850, in that range there was potato famine in Ireland, where a lot of people actually perished because they didn't have anything to eat. Potatoes was such a staple of that food source back then that it
now,
caused.
Growing up, we had potatoes with almost every meal.
We did too. I mean, if you really think about it, French
we
fries.
grew up and we ate them.
Yep. And nowadays we cook them a lot differently than what we used to back in the day. What caused the potato famine in Ireland?
Blight.
Look at you. Blight, because potatoes are in the nightshade family, same as tomatoes, and we know we have problems with blights on potatoes and tomatoes and those kind of things. So, good information there. I'm proud you got that.
I might have been doing some research.
Yep. All right, Germany also grows a lot of potatoes. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
So, anyway. All right, so let's talk about the different types of potatoes. And you did a nice little, what would you call this, board right here of different potatoes.
Well, it's actually on our Hoss University potato growing guide. Any of these that we show you today will throw up a screen, but you can find all this information and more, really more detail on our Hoss University potato growing guide.
First one up is russet, and that's your regular baking potato. Now, we don't sell that as a seed potato. Very few people grow the russet potato in the garden. Most of them grow the second one there, which is the red. And a lot of people know those as new potatoes, but that red potato there is the most popular garden type of potato grown in the home garden. The next one's the yellow, which is one of my favorites. And then we have the white, and this is probably going pretty much in order of popularity in gardens. And then below we have that is purple. The problem with this picture here is that is a sweet potato and not
I didn't do that.
That is I noticed that when we come in. But
we need to fix that on our
We're going to fix that. That is a purple sweet potato, people.
Yeah. But we do have some purple
Majesty. Do have a purple, and I'm going to show everybody that. And then we got the fingerlings down here, which is more of a novelty type potato. And then we have the petites down here at the bottom, which is those real small potatoes that become real popular in the grocery stores. And all those are good, but they got their different uses there. All right.
So early season, mid-season.
Yep.
Late season.
Yep, different types. I can't tell a lot. Now, I plant these pretty much all at the same time. That's just the way I grow my potatoes. And I will notice sometimes maybe a week to 2 week interval there and the difference in maturity, but they pretty much all mature at the same time. We know we live, we got work, and we have activities we have to do, so I don't go out there and dig all my potatoes at the same time. What I will do is pick off my earliest maturing varieties and I harvest them maybe one weekend or one day. Then I wait a few days and I get another one. That's kind of the way I do it. And that's what works good. Instead of planting one type, plant those other types. And it gives you a little more window when you start harvesting.
A little more forgiving.
Forgiving. And also we've got determinates and indeterminate types. And we're going to talk about that more in a little bit. This is not near as important on potatoes as these other crops such as tomatoes. There is some subtle differences there and we'll talk about that, but it's nothing really to get, we have some customers just really get all uptight about these indeterminate and determinate types of potatoes. Unless you're growing them in containers, it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right. Now let's talk about when to plant potatoes. This is always important right here. Zone 10, you guys need to be planting them in the next few days, and we are shipping taters out today.
We are. This week we're shipping Florida, Louisiana,
Texas, and we'll be shipping out for pretty much for the next 45 days. We'll be shipping out potatoes. And we're getting, you guys down south are getting your potatoes out first. So zone 10, you should be getting your potatoes any day now. If you haven't ordered them, go ahead and order them and we'll get them out to you in time to plant. Zone 10, you can see there, you need to be planting yours between the 15th and 31st.
I didn't realize Zone 10 went over here into California.
A little bit, not much. That's Zone 10 right there. See the pink part there?
Oh, the pink part.
Yeah, that's Zone 10.
So then Zone 9.
Yeah, I don't think, yeah, there is a little spot there around San Diego that's Zone 10, but for the most part, California's kind of mixed up there because California has so many different rural climates. All right, Zone 9, which we get up in central Florida, southern Texas, the bottom part of Louisiana. You guys need to be planting yours between February 1st and 15th. So you got a few days, you know, to get ready for that. Zone 8, which we're 8 we are. You know, the old timers right here always say plant on Valentine's Day. So our schedule planting is going to be between, say, February the 14th to the 28th. Me personally, always plant mine toward the end of the month. And we get Zone 7, you see there, March 1st to the 15th. Zone 6, March 15th through 31st. And Zone 5, you got April. Zone 4, April, May. And Zone 3, May. There you have it right there. If you want to see this more, we have it on our growing guide. Alrighty. And then, let's talk about fertilizing a little bit. This is the in-ground schedule right here. There again, we got this on our growing guide there. Always test that pH. You want a pH between 6.0, 6.5 there. And I love to put down that organic fertilizer as a pre-plant. Now, if you can do it a week ahead of time, that's wonderful. But if you have to do it at planting, you do it at planting, you do the best you can. Then after that, we give you instructions on how to use calcium nitrate. We give you you know, you can go back and put some more complete organic on there, but you want to do a combination of a complete fertilizer, such as our complete organic, and a nitrogen source. And I like the calcium nitrate for potatoes. Raised bed. This is your baby right here. All right, so the same thing. Put that, you like to mix that complete organic in your raised beds in your containers.
Yeah. Every time I spring, fall, I got to plant, I mix it, and some worm castings. And
then just take your side dress, use some calcium nitrate at intervals after that and just kind of sprinkle in there. And then you can also, for your complete fertilization on and after 4 weeks, you can use the Dr. Joe's vegetable bubble and the Nutri bubble, or the micro booster one. So there again, folks. Whole scroll guide's got all that covered for you there in case you need to see more of it. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. All right. You know, I grow mine in ground. We have 2 different gardens. I got my garden, you got your garden. You garden different than I do, and that's for a good thing because...
Somebody asked the other day on YouTube, why is there a his in her garden?
And the reason there's a his in her garden is because we have different ways of doing things and we don't always agree on what needs to be done when.
Well, that's not an answer I gave.
What answer did you give?
You did my raised bed gardens after I had my hip replacement surgery because I couldn't garden in yours.
That's correct.
And then it kind of evolved from there.
Yeah, but there's more to it than that. We get along better by having a his in her garden. So if I want to do certain things in my garden, I don't have to ask a soul. I just go out there and do it in the same thing in your garden. If you want to plant something other, you just go do it. There's no conversation about what you're going to do.
Well, sometimes I do ask for it.
We do ask, but you don't ask, do you think we need to do this? If you want to do something, you pretty much do it. And I'm the same way in my garden.
And then you'll come out there, I wouldn't have done that.
But you do it. You do it your way. And there's 2 different kinds of gardening. So I garden in ground on a bigger scale than what you do. And you garden more like people would with small backyard gardens.
But then you do have some containers in yours now.
I do have a few. Yep. So I've kind of moved around a little bit. And you know, being there's just 2 of us now, we don't grow quite as much as we used to. We used to grow a big, big garden. So talk about, if you was going to plant potatoes in a container, what would you do?
So we have the 15, the 45, and the 100. I tend to like the 45 and the 100-gallon root pouches. I've never grown them in my raised beds. I've only done them in the containers. That might be something I think about this year. But in containers, it's really easy. You can do it on your back porch. You don't have to have a big area. If you do it in the 15-gallon root pouch, you would put about 4 seed potatoes.
Yeah, now that's eyes is cut up.
Yeah, that's the cut up, not the... Although this fall, I did have those real small potatoes, and I just used 1.
Yeah, you don't have to cut them up.
Yeah. So 45-gallon, you would use about 12, and then 100-gallon, about 20 to 24.
Somewhere there.
But what's important is in your container, you can't heal them like you can in ground. So you put about 10 inches of soil, plant your potatoes, and once you see that leaf pop up, put more soil on, just completely cover up the plant. When it pops up again, and you keep doing that until you have the soil at the top of your container.
Now, here's where indeterminate and determinate different types comes into play. If you're going to plant in containers and do the layered method she just mentioned, you want to use a indeterminate type. And we're going to go over all these potatoes right now, and we're going to show you which are determinates and indeterminates. But that's the only time you really need to be concerned about indeterminate or determinate.
So what about, I've seen some people plant them in straw. It's called Ruth something.
I've seen that done before. Never done it myself, but I've seen people do it before. I've seen them plant them in tires before, and they just continue to add tires and soil and compost. Yeah, I've seen it several different ways. I've seen it done in wood, like raised beds where they just keep stacking them on it. It's the same concept.
You're just layering.
You just layer on there. So if you're planting in ground like I do, I'm going to give you a little bit of a rate there of how many of you plant. Normally speaking, 1 pound will plant 5 feet. Okay. So 5 pounds will plant around 25 feet. That just gives you an idea of how many potatoes you would need for how much garden you want to plant. All right, now let's get into it. Now these folks right here, before I cut it open, this is the way your smaller potatoes will arrive in these 5-pound bags. Now if you order 10 pounds, you're going to get 2 of these. Our potatoes are packaged in 5-pound mesh bags. So let's get right on it. What kind is this? This one is Yukon Gold.
Yukon Gold. So this is the most popular.
Now these haven't been washed. They got some dirt on it, so.
Yeah, well that's all right.
Yep. Most
popular and versatile ones. They're great.
I would say it's number 2 on popularity for the home gardener.
You think so? Medium to large size, tan skin, buttery yellow flesh.
As we've often said, the butter's built right in on these.
Mid-season maturity, 100 days.
Now this is a decent storing potato right here, and I always grow a Yukon Gold. I go back and forth about which one is my favorite.
And I would say that, I guess, I've been printing the shipping labels, and that's the most
popular. You would say so? I would say that between that and red.
We have more orders of that than the red.
I go back and forth. I love this potato right here. But you know what?
Leave it right here.
My potato breeder tells me that the old variety of Yukon Gold is slowly going by the wayside.
Really?
And next year we may end up having a different variety. Now it's going to be a yellow potato, real similar to that right there, but it may be a better potato than the old Yukon Gold variety. They come out with some new varieties that have better disease resistance and are more prolific than the old Yukon Gold. So I'm interested to see that. Although I love the yellow taters. All right, folks, this here is Viking.
It has a red exterior.
Yep.
And a creamy white inside.
You can't hardly tell there because it's got so much dirt on it, but it's kind of red. It has what we call the marble. Red and white kind of goes back and forth there on those. This
high production.
High production. Now this is not quite as big a potato as the Yukon Gold in my book. No. Yukon Gold makes a little bit bigger potatoes, and this has a white flesh there.
They store really well too.
Yep. Viking potato is popular. Not the most popular variety we got, but it is a popular one. It's got a long history behind it.
What's next?
What's next? I'm not getting these in any particular order. This is the Irish Cobbler.
Irish Cobbler. Okay, this was an heirloom variety introduced in the 1870s.
From where? Ireland?
It's It's great for mashed potatoes.
Yeah, this is a smaller type. See how smaller that is compare this to the Yukon Gold. See, that half of potato is bigger than that one. So it is a smaller type potato.
Now, it says a brick shape. I don't know where they get that from.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know about that.
Deep eyes. Does the eyes look deeper?
I really can't tell there. This is a good bacon potato, not bacon potato, a roasting potato, and a good mashed potato. It's probably, I would say,
soups.
Soups, yep. I would prefer this more for a roasting potato, and we do a lot of that.
We do.
Put some olive oil on them, and sea salt, and put them in the
Irish Cobbler.
Irish Cobbler. I'm gonna leave that one out.
I'm gonna give you a potato test at the end. See if you can name them.
Yep. All right, folks, we got French Fingerling here.
Now, it says this was one of the best tasting.
Yeah, well, it's got a great name to it, and this is those oblong type potatoes right here that we recognize as a fingerling type potato. And this is really good for roasting right here. And this being French.
It's got yellow inside.
Yep.
It says scattered with red flakes.
Yeah, I don't see the red flakes in that maybe. This is a good one right here. Now, this is not a standard variety I would plant if I was just planting one. This is one of those that I would plant as a combination with one of my standards. My standard potatoes would either be Yukon Gold or Norland Red or Kennebec. And then I like to plant me a few of these right here.
Yeah.
These actually store pretty well
crafty,
too.
huh?
Yep. If you want to get all fancy on somebody, make out your French fingerlings and cook those for them.
I like those boiled.
Yep. Purple Majesty.
Purple Majesty has exceptional flavor and texture. It's considered the best purple potato variety. High in antioxidants because of the potato.
Yes.
I mean the purple. So
Not
it's great for you.
Not a real large round potato, but more of an oblong potato here. Now, if you got kids in your family, you definitely want to grow these. This is a novelty type potato for me. But look how beautiful those insides are. Now, we always like to grow these for the kids to make mashed potatoes.
Purple mashed potatoes.
Purple mashed potatoes. There again, it's not, if you're going to plant one variety, you don't want to plant these, but it's a great addition to put in your garden along with some of the rest of them. Leave that one out. I don't know which one that one is.
Yeah, I think I can guess that one.
You know how many different types of potatoes we got this year? 9.
9. And we got the Homestead sample.
And we got the Homestead sample.
Which has 3 different types.
Yep. Australian crescent right here is more of those fingerling type potatoes here. Long, slender there.
Now, can I plant those in my containers?
Heck yeah. Yep.
Golden yellow flesh. Oh, look at there.
Now this is an indeterminate. Let's talk about which ones are indeterminate and determinate. This is an indeterminate.
The Purple Majesty was a determinate.
Yep.
The French Fingerling was an indeterminate.
Okay, so let's move it over here.
The Yukon Gold is a determinate. And is this the Irish Cobbler? See, I don't know.
Yep. No, that's the Viking.
That's the Viking. Is determinate. And what was this one?
Irish Cobbler.
It's determinate.
Yep.
Okay.
So now we have Kennebec. Kennebec is one of those larger type potatoes here. I classify this as one of the 3 main types. So if you want to plant a main type of potatoes, there again, a Yukon Gold, and this is Greg's opinion here, a Yukon Gold, a Red Norland, or a Kennebec. And this is known, it's a big potato like the other 2 I just mentioned, but it's known for as a frying potato.
French fries.
Yep. See how white it is on the inside? It has more of a tan color on the outside there.
That white.
Stores good. This is a
It
good
has a
potato.
really high starch content, and therefore, if you were canning some of these potatoes, you wouldn't want to can this one.
You don't want to can with a lower starch.
With a lower starch.
Which would be?
Any of the other white ones.
Okay. All right, so there we have those. We'll get close to the end.
You're moaning and groaning.
Moaning and groaning. German Butterball.
Oh, now this is my favorite, I think. This is a medium to large russet style potato with a buttery yellow flesh.
Yep.
This has got the butter in it, right?
One of those medium-sized potatoes right here. We do like to grow these right here. Look how yellow it is inside there.
And this has excellent storage too.
Now this is an indeterminate, correct? Okay.
Is that what I grew in my
I think it is.
I think it is too.
I think it is. And last but not least is our red Norland. This is one of those main type potatoes I talked about earlier. A decent sized potato. I classify this as one of the large potatoes here. You know, if you've ever eaten new potatoes at a restaurant or you heard people talk about new potatoes, this is one they're normally talking about right here. This is the most, she says, for us, the Yukon goes for most popular. I think in general, for a gardening potato, this is the most popular one.
That's the one I can. It's great for boiling, roasting, excellent storage.
Yep. And what we like about this variety right here, for us in the South, is this is a good heat-tolerant variety of the red potatoes, the red Norland.
Resistant to scab and blight.
Now this is the Determinate. All right. So here we have, that's all the potato varieties, folks. And here we have the Determinates, which are the bigger potatoes, and there we have these Indeterminates that you would want to use in a container if you're growing a container. Here we go. German Butterball, French Fingerling, and Australian crescent. There's your three varieties right there. Ba-boom.
Ba-boom.
I made a mess right here.
So we still have all these on our website?
We still have them all. We got an order in last Friday, so we've been shipping pretty much this week. We will be getting another order. We just updated the website with more quantities because we increased our order for February. And we'll be getting another shipment in around the 10th of February. So hopefully we'll be shipping all the way through maybe to the end of February. Unless they run out again. We sold a lot of potatoes this time. We had to increase our order. We're not going to be able to get any more. He did tell me that. This is pretty much going to be all we can get. So what we have in our inventory on our website is going to be it. Once those are gone, they're gone. And we're already out of, we're not out, I don't think. We're real close on one or two of them.
Okay. So check out our Halls University link on our website for all the details about growing potatoes, and in the comments let us know what's your favorite type and what you're growing and when you're going to plant them.
Yeah, that's interesting. If you got a container variety you really like, let us know, because we got a lot of people interested in growing potatoes in containers. All right, it's time for that garden of the week.
Garden of the week.
Yep, you got the pictures?
And on your stack,
I got them.
This is from one of our friends, Tom Matthews.
Yeah, Tom sent us a few pictures. Somebody stapled them all together. Let me get them. Oh, they clip together. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of Tom's garden, which I thought was really interesting.
He is in Alabama, in Zone 7. Can you say that? East.
Yeah, he's in east to Tom, tell us the way you pronounce your name. I mean, your city you live in. Look how he's mulched his garden. Ain't that kind of neat?
I think that's some sweet peas there.
Yeah, really pretty there. And look here, I'm going to save this picture to last. Look at his carrots. Tom took some pointers from me and learned how to grow carrots. I think I might have got some pointers from Tom. Tom does a great job growing carrots. Look at them right there. Wow. And what a beautiful picture here. Tom grew some lettuce and has gathered them in his house gardening bucket there. And some winter gardening pictures here. It looks like some broccoli and cabbage there. A little snow on the ground. And last but not least, Tom sent this amazing picture right here in. Covering those potatoes up with a double wheel hoe. So folks, if you're new to growing potatoes, we have lots of videos on our Hoss YouTube channel talking about how to grow potatoes, how to use the wheel hoe to do that. So go check that out. You got one on there about growing the containers?
Yeah, I will link it in the description about how I planted them in the containers. So if you want your garden to be featured on our Row by Row show,
just as we featured Tom's. Thank you, Tom, for sending that in.
Under the Halls University link, there's an area where you can submit your garden photos, and we'll try to show them on the show.
Yep. We got to do drawing for the
For the old goat?
The old goat. We're going to do the old goat drawing. Folks, we have an old goat figurine somewhere here on the set. We move it and it hides every week. Or we don't do it, but it moves itself and hides every week.
Yeah.
And if you find the old goat on the show set somewhere, put your comments below, and then we'll have a drawing the following week for the winner of the old goat, where we send you a great prize out.
So this is from last week. I'm not sure what I'm going to send.
All right. Scotty White. Boy, we finally got a nice name I can pronounce here. Scotty White. Send us your shipping information to customerserve@hosstools.com, Scotty, and we will get you a coveted Hoss merchandise.
Corny jokes. Somebody told me they missed the corny jokes.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of people don't miss them, but...
All right, I'm ready.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
What do you call a lazy spud?
Potato chip.
A lazy spud. You don't read this?
No.
A couch potato.
Oh, man, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good. That's pretty good.
I would have thought you would have got that one.
I know, a couch potato. I would have thought too. Where'd I get potato chip from?
I don't know. Because you love potato chips.
I love potato chips.
That's your biggest weakness, is potato chips.
It is. All right, folks, thank you for joining us. We was talking all things potatoes, and I hope if you've never grown potatoes before, I hope you give them a shot. Whether it's in ground or containers, they're fun to grow. They're fun to eat. So thank you for joining us. Now it's time for you to get off that couch and get outside and get dirty.